moved to the middle of South Carolina, I began to work with the Hispanic community. And so that's how I know Maria Cervantes and her sister Claudia. I worked with them at the middle school and the high school. I was their English teacher and I was their cheerleader. I helped make sure that they got into what they needed to get into to have a successful school career. So I'm always looking for the students' strong points. And with Maria, her strong points were her intellect. She is extremely smart. Things come to her just like that. And she's also very artistic. She was the student that the teachers would always say, what can we do to help Maria? Does she need anything? Does she need clothes? Does she need something for a trip? The teachers wanted to see her succeed. So she was a joy to work with. When she was probably in the 7th or 8th grade, her parents returned to Mexico and they left the girls here. Maria was probably 13 or 14. Her sister Claudia was 17 or 18. Claudia worked in a restaurant to support those girls. Maria graduated with honors. She was in the Honor Society. She took advanced classes. I'm delighted to come here and share with you how hard she worked, how keen her intellect is, her family values. Sometimes people will look at me askance and say, you work with immigrants? And I say, yes. So they make me think about my family 20 years ago, when the family is the glue that holds them together. I remember one time she was competing in something and I said, do you want to win, Maria? And she said, I want to win, but I want to bring honor to my school. And I thought, that's such a quaint idea, to bring honor to your school. And I think that's how she lives her life, that she brings honor to the people who have helped her. She's everything I want my children to be. She's decent, she's kind, she's smart, and she's thoughtful. She thinks of others before herself. And I think anyone you talk to would tell you the same thing.
I study immigration policy, and specifically my work focuses on immigrant youth and their pathways through higher education. I met Maria in the spring of 2015. It was the year that she was graduating from high school. And she shot me an email because I think she had come across the work that I do. And she introduced herself via email, which is a fairly bold thing for a senior in high school to do. She specifically wanted to know what her college options were. She knew, though, as a DACA recipient, that she would be able to attend a public higher education institution in South Carolina, but she'd be charged out-of-state tuition. And so when we met, she was puzzling over what to do because she'd been accepted at USC but couldn't afford the out-of-state tuition. She invited me to her high school graduation, which was one of the most meaningful things that had happened to me in my time living in South Carolina as a scholar. And it's a small high school in a rural town in South Carolina. And Maria, it became very clear from our initial conversations up to the point when she graduated that she was an extremely special person. Because even in the face of extreme adversity and difficult circumstances, Maria was someone who held on to hope. And she consistently sought new options when she encountered closed doors. When she graduated from high school and realized that it wasn't going to be possible for her to afford out-of-state tuition in an in-state college, she decided to look elsewhere. Another closed door came when she realized that she just wasn't going to be able to afford this private college in another state. But rather than despair, Maria hunkered down, got a full-time job, and eventually worked at this place long enough to be offered the option for a sort of employee-employer shared tuition deal, where their employer would help cover the cost of tuition. Maria's someone who, like many dreamers, doesn't give up hope. But Maria's exceptional beyond that, I think, because of the way that her hope infects others. She is someone who shares her story openly, and I think she is someone who inspires people wherever she goes.